In 3, 2, 1, blast off into another exciting episode. That was corny. Into another exciting episode of Buddy Talks. Oh, sorry. I'm just really excited to be here. I swear this is not the first time this has happened.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
In the studio today, we have Mike again. How's it going, Mike?
Doing what, brother, buddy?
Oh, you get all sensual when you say it. It makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have Mike here again, and we're probably going to go on another nostalgia trip, possibly Wild Tangent, who knows. But I know one thing I want to talk about that I wanted to talk about before is how we don't own anything anymore. But before we do that, we have some housekeeping to do. First off, I'd like to thank all you guys for listening. And I'd also, Opus, don't worry, I'm going to get to your comments eventually. I know you mentioned last time in one of the episodes we talked about birthdays, and you don't really feel birthdays anymore after you turn 21. I see where you're coming from with that. I totally get it, especially since you don't really have anything to look forward to until what, like 25? Then you get the rent cars.
Dude, I look forward to just waking up without something hurting.
That's true. That's very true, because that's just how life goes. But thanks. Keep all the comments and everything coming, Opus. Everyone else, also, just go ahead and keep everything coming. If you have any new ideas or anything, shoot them at us. Also, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a written text review, because what that's going to do is going to allow us to talk to every more people. I can't even speak properly. Tons more people. Give out digital hugs. And I'm just shooting from the hip on this. Mike's just losing it. But
I like digital hugs.
But yeah, you know what time it is, Mike.
What time is it?
Where's your head at time?
Oh, my head is on my neck.
Keep it on a swivel.
Yeah, that's right.
100.
Right. Well, not 360, because that's not possible.
We would need a young priest and an old priest.
Well, you could do it once. Bring on the pea soup. Hopefully everyone out there gets that reference, if it's even correct.
Yeah, man. How are you doing this week?
No, doing good. Doing good. We're getting even closer to the holidays.
Yeah?
And I still haven't gotten that tree out, but I'm working on it.
Hey, man. Baby steps. Baby steps. You know where everything is, hopefully.
Well, yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's just amazing how bad stuff gets buried in 12 months.
Yeah? Yeah.
Assuming you take the tree down in January.
That's true. I know Anna's ready.
I'm ready, man. I mean, it's the kids are older, so the caliber of gifts are a little bit different. They both they believe in the spirit of Santa Claus, but it's not the whole.
So he's dead in their eyes?
Well, are we assuming your listeners believe this or not? I feel like I kind of just messed up some people.
I'm assuming the people listening are of age and they're probably woke.
Okay, so they're not running this episode in the car with their children, hopefully.
I mean, it does have an explicit tag, so that's on them, maybe.
Okay,
I don't know.
All right. Okay, so yeah, spirit of Santa Claus. You know, it's it's to the point now where it's like, okay, you need to tell us what it is you want, and then you'll get some sprinklings of other things. But
yeah.
These whole years of just everyone just gets you all sorts of toys. Those years are over.
Oh yeah.
They'll still get toys, but
yeah.
I mean, I remember having I would get gifts. There one main thing, two main things.
Yeah.
And everything else. As we got older, it was less and less, but then things got more and more expensive.
That's true.
And then there was a Christmas of 1993, but I digress.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting very hyped up for the holidays. I'm also hyped that the dogs are enjoying themselves and they're barking like crazy.
Are those dogs always here?
No.
Okay,
Not always.
So first of all, let's back up. So Marvin, where's your head at? How are you doing? I felt kind of bad. You're just kind of like, well, enough about you.
Yeah. I'm doing okay. Staying hydrated, working, getting closer to holidays. I have some of my Christmas shopping actually done. I got live studio audience like her big gift. So
oh yeah,
I'm excited about that.
Bigger than a bread box.
maybe.
Okay. All right. Maybe you'll do the reveal in in the New Year's episode.
Exactly. But yeah, man, everything's going really well. Podcast going well. Work's going pretty well. I can't complain.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some PTO left over. I'm gonna use up, and everything's winding down. And
It's just that time of PTO is coming up, man. There's only a little bit more time before like everything just whips by.
well, it's also the part where you look around the office. Like, is this the last day I see everybody in
Exactly.
the office until next year?
Yeah.
And then it's going to be the whole "see you next year" jokes.
Exactly. That's why I always hit people with "have a great summer." Stay cool. It was cool having you in chemistry class.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, I always hit them with that. But it's funny you mentioned the kids getting gifts
Yes.
because that's a good segue
Yep.
into what I want to talk about is how they own those gifts, right?
That's yeah. Usually,
As long as it's not like an iTunes gift card where they go and get songs
no,
for
they,
streaming.
they are not virtual gifts. They are
Yeah.
real gifts.
Because for me, it feels like in the modern time, no one really owns anything anymore. Everything is part of a EULA. And for those of you guys who don't know what a EULA is, it's an end user license agreement. So it's that small text that you see at the end of a lot of different things.
So a lot of times when people think of a EULA, they think of software. But you think about it, I mean, so cars, for instance, how many
Yeah.
people lease? Not that there's nothing wrong
There's
with
nothing
leasing.
wrong with
Nothing
leasing.
wrong with leasing
Yeah.
at all. But it's people just have this perpetual car payment. And if
Yeah.
you kind of think about it, do you really own your cell phone?
For a lot of people, well, actually, in general, it's really hard to say.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't remember last time I paid one off before I got a new one.
I'm actually about paid off on mine.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not like the typical person. I will ride a phone out until it's just toast.
well, if I ride on my phone, it's going to be toast pretty quick. So just saying.
But yeah, a couple years back, I had to get another car. So for a while, I went without a car payment, which was nice. My cell phone bill's going to go back down here in a little bit because my iPhone 10 is getting paid off. I didn't get the 11 Pro Max yet because I'll wait till this one dies off.
Well, you didn't need 16 cameras in the back of it?
I mean, I'm a video guy, so I do need 16 cameras on the back of
okay.
it.
All right. I just had to ask. Because that sounded like an odd comment coming from you.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But it just feels like the way things are in this day and age, man, you just don't own anything. Because I used to always be about physical media. So for my Switch, I'd go and buy all my games physically. But now the convenience, especially since Anna also plays, I don't always feel like getting up, switching out the cartridge, do whatever. I can just fire it up and load it.
So, yeah, I see what you're saying from that aspect because I also am a big fan of having the physical media because I used to always say, well, what happens when the network comes offline? At least I could still, I still have my game, right? And I will admit, when I bought the latest Forza Motorsport, I got it digitally because I used to play the game so much, I got tired of having to take the disc out or put it back in when I would play something else.
Yeah.
Plus, it made it easier to play it when I was at work.
Yeah.
So, what would be cool is, and of course they wouldn't do this because they make more money doing it the way they do now, but
Yeah.
it would be nice if when you bought the physical copy, you got a digital copy. But then what's the point?
Yeah, because people would just sell that
Right. So
or let their friends borrow it.
So it's like for me, having physical copy stuff is I have a vinyl collection, and yes, I'm still the type where is that available on vinyl, and I'll buy it on vinyl, and I'm not going to get in the whole the way it sounds thing, but it's just I like having a physical copy
Yeah.
of what I buy.
Yeah.
I know it takes up more space, there are some concessions to convenience or whatever, but it's all about the experience for me.
Yeah.
But everything is going subscription based also.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, I think even with just like Microsoft Office, you can't just go buy Office.
No.
You buy into it every month. It's a subscription.
Yep.
So you are forever paying for Microsoft Office.
Yep. And it's like before, remember, like Office, actually, Photoshop. Remember that was like $400. Oh, man. But now you have like a couple months. You've already paid for Photoshop like multiple times.
And they're getting away with it.
They're getting away with it.
I don't know. It's crazy. I'm going to bring back leasing again.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing because think about it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with leasing. Leasing just doesn't work for me because I drive too much.
Yeah.
And for me to pay for the extra mileage, I might as well just finance it and and just have it. But I know people who've been leasing for years and they like being in a new car every 3 years.
Yeah. See, for me, I have this conversation a lot at work. They talk about leasing or renting or anything like that versus buying. I'd rather own something and have it. That's mine. I'd rather have a car. Yeah, it's not the newest car every couple of years, but it's mine.
Right.
There's an endpoint where I'm not paying like to have this anymore because I already paid it off. Yeah, I have maintenance and I have all that stuff. I'm not having to pay any penalties if I drove it more one year than another year or anything like that.
Well, and that is one thing. If I'm making payments on something, I want to know it ends.
Yeah. And for me, it's like I'm not renting a house anymore. We actually have a mortgage.
Right.
And I love that because, okay, yeah, it sucks when your plumbing goes or you need a new AC or you need to do this, that, or the other. But I know that any upgrades or anything that we do, that's going to increase the value of what we have. So when we decide that, okay, we need to move, this house isn't big enough or anything for us anymore, that money isn't just vapor.
So it's like a rate of return thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There is an ROI, that's return on investment, attached to what we have. And I like that fact. I've talked to some people, and I see like some of the logic where they want to just like sell their house and kind of start renting wherever they want to go. And I can see where it comes from, but for me, man, rent going up every year until you're forced to move because it's just too expensive because they want to get someone else in.
Right.
I don't like playing that game.
So, someone I worked with, they did something very interesting.
Okay.
They got rid of all their physical media.
Yeah.
In this case, it was all their compact discs.
Okay.
And they gave them to me.
Yeah.
And I always ask the question, why are you getting rid of these?
Yeah.
And the answer I got was the answer I hear frequently. And they told me, oh, well, I have streaming service, so I'll just listen to them on Spotify or something. Not that, I've digitized them all and I don't need them. It's just, no, I have a streaming service.
Yeah.
So they've gotten rid of all their physical media.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to other people who have done the same thing with regret.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying everyone regrets it. I'm just saying, the people I've talked to who have regretted it, because at that point, for me, yes, I do work with stuff in the cloud and everything else, but I don't own the cloud.
Yeah.
I don't have control over the cloud.
Yeah.
So if there's that one Sheena Easton album that I want to hear and they decide to take it off the cloud, then what do I do?
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. That's why I don't do a lot of games digitally. Okay. I have Persona 5 digitally. I've talked about Persona at length. But
with good reason.
Yeah. But I also have a physical copy. I've been burned twice because of this. Because for Xbox 360, I bought the Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up game.
Mm-hmm.
And I also bought the Turtles in Time Reshelled arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Because of licensing issues, they have been since pulled, and I have no way of recovering those.
No, really?
Yeah.
So was there an option at the time to get the physical copy?
Nope. They were digital only. The PT demo for PlayStation, there's no way to get that now unless you already had it on your hard drive. I still have it.
You need to like clone that hard drive or something, man.
I know. But licensing, and there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, and they won't even say, and they'll just pull it. Things will get pulled.
Wow.
And that's kind of ridiculous. Like another thing, since Disney acquired Fox, they haven't really said, but a lot of those movies and stuff have been disappearing.
And they
going into vaults.
And they kind of do it to where, they're kind of sly about it.
Yeah.
They don't announce it.
No.
It's like,
of course
it's
not.
like what Disney used to do with their home videos with their, get Lady in the Tramp before it goes back in the vault.
Exactly. And I know a lot of like movie theaters have talked about it. They can't even show some of the stuff anymore because of licensing deals.
Yeah, licensing deals are a big problem when it comes to distribution and stuff like that.
And that's another thing that I find ridiculous and why I don't always agree with digital media. Why am I paying the same damn price for a game? Okay, we'll use that. $59.99. Okay. Yeah, there's no tax. But there's no overhead. There's no packaging. There's no shipping. There's nothing there. Why am I paying the same price there instead of going to the store?
That burns me up so much because it's like they don't even incentivize it.
No. Now, they try to with movies, okay? You can get it 2 weeks early. Okay. Or I can wait till it releases, pay maybe $5 more,
right,
and I have a DVD, Blu-ray, and digital copy.
Yeah.
Why am I going to just do that so I can watch it 2 weeks early? I'll just wait till everyone pirates it, watch the pirated version until that thing comes out, and then watch the normal version that I bought from the store that I own. Because that's another thing with people don't think long term.
Right.
So, heaven forbid, you get struck by lightning tomorrow.
Right.
Whatever you have in the cloud, okay, digital, whatever, movies anywhere. No one has access to your stuff anymore if you don't have your password or anything. That stuff's gone.
But my Creative Laser discs and all my record albums are still there.
Forever. Until DVD rot or whatever happens to it. But, yeah, a lot of the movies and everything, like we mentioned, we've had this conversation before. If aliens, like fast forward thousands of years, aliens would be like, what happened to humanity? Because everything went digital, and it's like we just vanished.
They just disappeared.
Yeah.
Except for my record collection.
Exactly.
That's sitting there.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah, we've talked about that at length where digital media is... I never see digital media as being permanent.
No.
And it's funny because people would say, oh, well, I back it up to disc. Well, that's not permanent either. And
no.
There's people who back it up to CD per se, right?
No.
And they find out that the CD is rotted out, so they don't have that either. So it's like...
Hard drives fail.
Yeah, hard drives fail. So it's unless you're making perpetual backups of stuff, you're not guaranteed to ever have it. Like to me, the cloud is great for convenience.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure out all the proper business models for that, and there's a lot of inherent challenges with it. I experience on a daily basis with my line of work. But for me, I want to own it.
Yeah.
I want something to show for it. And that's just how I am. I mean, it's that's not everyone. My opinion I share with a bunch of other people, but it's, I don't know. We all work hard for what we for our money.
We work hard for the money.
So hard for the money.
Oh. So hard for the money. So you better
treat her right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't keep a straight face with that one.
Yeah.
So the perpetual the subscription licensing model, vehicle leasing and just typical renting of stuff. So I guess with the food industry, you really can't rent food because you kind of have to buy that. Because that's just gross.
Yeah.
Is it just a disposable society? Is that
definitely.
I mean,
definitely. Look at phones. Okay, look at what technology has. who really fixes stuff now? Your TV goes. Who fixes that?
No one. You just throw it out and get a new one.
Exactly.
It costs more to fix it than it does to.
Exactly. So it's like, why everything has kind of moved into a way where, okay, well, this broke. I'm just going to buy a new one.
Yeah, it's very different from like I'm into vintage stereo gear, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, you know, that we repair those. Well, they were designed and manufactured with a completely different mindset from
definitely
consumer electronics today. Yes, the price of things have dropped. I mean, there's no U.S. made television set ever, because I read some article and they said if there was, it would be like 4 times as expensive as like one you just buy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
nothing is made to last anymore.
No. So you think that's planned obsolescence?
Oh, most certainly.
Because
look at houses. Okay, this house was built in 1925.
Right.
Okay. It survived and weathered storms. It survived so many things. But you're seeing some of these neighborhoods that crop up in no time, and things are just falling apart after a couple of years.
I will tell you, my first house was built. Well, I had it built in 2008.
Yeah.
The house I'm in now was built in 1974.
Yeah.
There was stuff I was dealing with that first house.
Yeah.
That I have not had to, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I haven't had to deal with.
Yeah, because it's actually made of wood.
Right.
Like this wall right here is block.
Right. Right.
It's a block, like.
Yeah. And it's got the plaster and the batting probably too.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. What else? I mean, there's just
like the saying is, it's your moment, own it. It's not, it's your moment, license it until the license runs out.
It's your moment, license it.
Yeah.
Oh,
put that on a t-shirt.
That is so sad. I'm thinking about that now. Man, that is sad. Like for instance, so my car's about 3 years old.
Yeah.
And when I got it has a nav system in it, which I had no choice, but I had to get it with a nav system.
Yeah.
And it came with satellite radio.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it came with the nav traffic and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's a subscription, and I let it lapse.
Yeah.
I didn't, in my case, fortunately, I could still use the maps and stuff.
Yeah.
But there are some infotainment systems where if you don't subscribe to it, it will not work.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
Yep.
That is crap.
Yeah.
That is complete garbage.
Yeah.
So what's next? Oh, you need to pay a subscription so you can actually use the car. Is that where we're going?
That's what it feels like. The whole idea of owning things and having things that are yours, like it's what happened with John Deere tractors.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
A couple years back, I think John Deere set it up where like these farmers and everything don't actually own their tractors and they can't repair them themselves.
What?
Yeah.
Well, the whole demise of the farmer is just a sad thing anyway.
Yeah, but they have it set up where it's like, oh well, if you need something new, you need to buy a new one instead of fixing it and having it last however long.
That's why the price of vintage farm equipment have gone up.
Yeah,
that makes sense now.
And like, look at things that have like withstood or have come back in resurgence. Books. Remember, books were like everything was going to e-readers and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But people realize, no, there's something about the feel of having a book, the smell, just the whole tactile nature of books.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they've pushed back, and like these ebooks and everything, they're just not doing as well because like Barnes and Noble, Borders already went belly up.
Right.
All the books went belly up, but like the smaller bookstores are doing really well. Look at records. There's a resurgence. You can go to Target and buy a record album.
I know. I'm trying to show so much restraint just to not take this thing completely down vinyl, but
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm going to use this as an example.
Okay.
2 people I knew, one of them got rid of all their records and whatever. They had digitized everything and kept it on a hard drive.
Yeah. Till that dry fills.
My other friend had his entire record collection. He still had it.
Yeah.
So coincidental. I don't know if they were roommates in college or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they had them in storage. The hard drive was in the boxes with the record albums, and it flooded. Okay. Hard drive is toast.
Yeah.
no more music.
Yeah.
But guess what? You could still play.
The records.
You had to clean them up. The jackets were all gone.
Yeah.
But you could still
Play the records.
the records.
Yeah.
They may not sound the way they did, but they're still there.
It's
You
an
can
option.
still play them.
Yep.
And actually, we were able to restore every single one of those vinyl slabs, so they sound perfect. And yeah, fine.
But how's that hard drive doing?
That hard drive is just gone.
Yeah.
Just gone. To the point where a recovery company couldn't even bring it back.
Yeah.
It had molded and everything.
It's done.
Because they found it. It was like years later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was it. It was toast. So, plus there's just something to be said. I know when we talked prior about shopping and stuff, where there's something about looking at things physically on a shelf as opposed to
on a screen.
Looking at a screen. Or I equate it to flipping through a crate of records as opposed to flipping through an iTunes playlist. Yeah. There's just to me, it feels like there's a barrier there between you and that stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's like it's us and the Matrix.
Yeah,
you know? And I've struggled with paying money to not have something.
Oh yeah.
Even to the point where it's so convenient, I have it now. It's like, okay, but to be honest, like music that I've purchased digitally, I have forgotten about.
Yeah,
because it's sitting on some drive. I mean, I'm diligent with moving stuff over and everything, but it's just it's in that folder, but I never really go in there.
Yeah.
Whereas I can walk into my my room or my office at my house and see my records sitting there, and it's like, oh, okay, and it's something to look at and whatnot. I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But the whole. So I know you say we don't own it. So is it like? So back in the day, the American or the dream was to you get a good job, you own a piece of the rock.
Yeah.
So is there really pieces of rock that we own now, or do we rent those too? That's kind of where
we're
headed, right?
We rent those too,
or we're kind of renting a piece of the cloud.
The people who own speaking of like owning a piece of the rock, are the people that are extremely wealthy, and they lease it out to the rest of us.
That's right.
So they get more and more rich, is how I feel, while we just struggle to survive.
So the dream is different.
Oh, the dream is definitely different. Dream is if you have the wealth, you're finding ways to keep it, and milk everyone else dry. You can milk anything with nipples.
With nipples?
With nipples.
Nipples?
Yeah.
You can milk anything with nipples.
Yes.
That should go on the shirt too. Nipples.
Yeah. But that's how I see the way things are now. Is it's become so easy. Look at phones nowadays. Okay. Every year, like clockwork, there's a new iPhone. Something new, something exciting. People are so quick. It's like you see all the issues that you may or may not have issues with your device.
But they can say they have it first, right?
Oh yeah. People jump. It's like, oh, I'm getting this new phone now. Do they really need it? Maybe they have. More than likely, they don't need it. But they have that new device. What happens to the old one? They just toss it or sell it, do whatever.
It sits in the drawer.
And they renew that lease.
Because it's so easy to do.
Yeah. Or you don't own the device. You have to turn it in so you get the new one.
Right.
So you don't have a backup anymore. You don't have any sort of, if something were to happen, what do you got to do? You got to buy a new one. And then you get deeper and deeper and deeper. Or you got to try to find one used somehow.
You know, they've made it very difficult, even for people who just want to hold on to what they have.
Yeah.
You know, technology changes where it's no longer compatible. Or,
oh, yeah.
You know, it just doesn't, it just won't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite sad. Now that we're sitting here talking about it, more things are coming to mind, and it just hurts.
Yeah, and think of all the things where they force you to upgrade. Oh, you want this new feature? Your device is too old. You can't do it. You're going to have to get something newer.
That's right.
I have an iMac that's still running Snow Leopard just because I have a lot of programs I won't be able to use anymore.
Oh, you still have that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
because it's a copy of Photoshop before Creative Cloud.
That's just, yeah, that is aggravating.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, you're forced to do things. I mean, people are resistant to change anyway, but it's, I saw this happening.
Yeah.
And I saw the velocity of it increase. And now just with what I do, it's for things that, there's even things as a business that we want to get.
Yeah.
But we have to do the subscription. Now they tell us things like, oh, well, you always get the newest version.
Whoopity-doo.
But it, I mean, we're a software company.
Yeah.
So we can't just automatically go to the newest version. There's regression testing. There's compatibility things we have to do. And Microsoft's gotten really bad with it because I was at a training.
Yeah.
The instructor had their whole thing, set up, the slides for what it was supposed to look like. They did an upgrade and changed the front end.
Yep.
So she's like, I guess we're winging the rest of the day.
Yep. And just think of how many, especially government facilities, were using Windows XP for the longest time.
They're doing the same thing with Windows 7 now too.
Yeah.
Wow. You think anyone's still using Windows ME?
Possibly.
DOS 4.0.
I know, right? But it's just sad how things have gotten because you don't own anything and people are just cool with it.
So, okay. So
I understand there's limitations with room and everything, but come on.
Right. So let's try to look at the positive side of it.
Okay.
Okay. So what are the advantages?
Room.
Right.
Okay. Convenience and ease because especially if it's in the cloud or streaming, you can get access to anywhere.
Right.
You
do have the newest one, assuming assuming there's no issues with it.
Yeah, and you get it quickly. You get that ease where it's like, oh, I want this. Boom, it's right there.
Right. But okay, so now I'm gonna ask the next question. Then.
Okay.
Who's it really more convenient for, the consumer or the vendor?
Oh, the vendor.
Oh, obviously.
The vendors, yeah, because they're getting that constant cash flow. They're getting, especially when you're hooked into that ecosystem where you need it. What are you gonna do when you break that chain?
It's well, right. It's a whole support thing.
Yeah.
They don't, instead of having to support all these versions, they only have to focus on that one or maybe the prior one.
Exactly.
Let's see. So what else are they doing this with? Because, well, I mean, I was going to jokingly say, we subscribe to Power and Telephone, but
yeah.
I mean, you don't really own Power, but that's a whole different thing.
Nope. Yeah, that's something else altogether.
It's wow, that is just crazy. Because I always thought of it from the software perspective, but now thinking about everything, having this conversation, there's not really many things that we can go and own. Okay, so I can go to the grocery store and buy an onion.
Yeah.
But that onion doesn't even last forever.
No. Okay. Think about it in a non-joking manner.
Okay.
Okay. You buy a car now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Something breaks.
Uh-huh.
The car has so much technologically advanced things. How much of it can you fix yourself?
Assuming parts are available.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Yeah.
But even if parts are available,
yeah,
there's only some things you can get done by the manufacturer.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can buy the ECU, but you can't have it flash unless you have the tool.
Yep.
Oh, you want to buy the tool? It's $23,000.
Yep. And that's for a license.
That's right. It's for a license.
It's for a license.
Use it once. Oops, I did the wrong thing. Oh, we need another $23,000.
Exactly.
Wow.
Everything is so integrated. Now, remember before you get a car, you're like, man, I don't like this radio. Let me go ahead and get another radio, a doubled in, fits right in. Nope. Now everything is all integrated.
So I get in my car and the other day the thing locked up on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm kind of stuck. I can't, well, I mean, I could, but, I end up losing some other function because it's integrated with other parts of the car. So what usually happens? Something breaks like that. People get mad. They buy a new car.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it was interesting for me when I got my car. I was like, oh, I don't have all these extra things. I don't have the keyless entry. I don't have the like push button start, I'm fine with
Right.
that. I'm okay. Oh, you mean I had to take the key out of my pocket and put it in the ignition? Whoopity doo.
Yeah. There's something about turning that key.
I mean, I don't care that well, one thing, I save on batteries because the wireless keyless stuff actually drains more of a battery because constantly communicating with the vehicle.
I had to change the battery on my car. I have the keyless
Yeah.
entry and the push button
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, I don't have any of that stuff, and I was perfectly fine with not having that. I'm old school when it comes to a lot of things like that. Yeah, the rear view camera, cool. But I also know that's another thing that can break.
Well, that's with I there was an auto show that was in town recently, and
Is that happening right now?
uh
Oh wait, no, a couple weeks ago.
yeah it was recent, and looking at all these cars. First of all, looking at the price,
Yeah,
and then looking at all the electronics in it.
yeah,
I mean, I work in computers, so I have a professional distrust of computers.
oh yeah,
Skynet. So I
yeah.
you know, I just think about it from a maintenance, perspective. And it's just I just can't understand. To me, I'm the type of person, okay, let's not throw the toaster out yet. I might be able to fix it.
yeah.
That's just how I am.
One of the things you do, okay, you repair vintage electronics, right?
AV gear, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About up to what year can you even do that to, like for like electronics? Because there comes a point where there's nothing that you can do that with.
Probably the newest thing that I've worked on where it was actually worth it
Yeah,
was probably the early 90s.
yeah,
Because everything after that was something on the board, or I mean, you could do, but a chip would go bad.
Yeah.
And it's unobtainium.
yeah,
The stuff from the 70s and the early 80s were the easiest.
yeah,
Assuming they weren't all computer controlled, but yeah, there was, because it's like, oh well, replace the wire, replace the capacitor, replace the resistor. Oh, current's flowing again. It's gonna work.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah, not so much. Now everything is all computer controlled.
Yeah.
And if the brain dies, and that's it.
Like, don't get me wrong. I have the Traeger grill. Freaking awesome.
Right.
Okay. It's like computer controlled, controls the heat, make sure I could do this, and that. It's set it and forget it for a lot of things. But if something goes, I'm kind of SOL. Whereas I could pull the Weber grill out and just keep trucking.
That's funny. The Weber kettle has pretty much looked the same since it
Yeah.
was introduced.
Yeah. And that's why I still have a Weber kettle.
Right.
Because I don't have to plug it in.
Nope.
I could take it and put it wherever I need it to be.
Yep.
Fire it up, get to cooking. So, like, I have the Traeger's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love that thing. I use it all the time. But I'm still going to keep that Weber.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I like new stuff too.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong. I did see cars at this auto show that
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted, and it's kind of one of those things. Well, yeah, I'd want one. I drive one, and I just deal with it.
Yeah.
But even my mindset for cars have changed, and this is sad. I'm a car guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But I always said, no. So cars I buy, my daily drivers, I had to accept the fact that they're disposable in the sense,
Yeah.
where I won't have them forever.
Yeah.
I take care of them, but it's not the mentality that I'm going to have it in 20 years.
Oh, no.
Now, I have an 80s Mustang
Mm-hmm.
that is sitting right now. Motor runs, everything's good. That's a little different.
Yeah.
I can fix everything on that car.
Yeah.
All the computer does is, I think it controls ignition or something,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much it. When you press the button to lower the window,
Yeah.
it closes a circuit and lowers the window.
Yeah.
When you press the gas pedal, it pulls a cable that opens the throttle.
Yep.
Whereas there's cars now that have drive-by-wire steering,
Yeah.
drive-by-wire brakes.
Yep.
That I find a little scary.
How about, okay, there's the rise of electric vehicles. Okay. I think the concept of them are cool.
Right.
They're pretty awesome, just like the things they can do. How about, though, they can shoot an over-the-air signal to increase the horsepower you have available to you, to do these updates, to change things about the vehicle.
So I went to indoor go-karting and got mad because they slowed me down.
Yeah.
Because I was going too fast.
Yeah.
If I got that ticked off then, you can only imagine what happened if I'm trying to commute.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, that's it. Just, it's not yours anymore.
No.
You had to play by these rules set by everyone else.
Right.
And I don't like that.
Right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's really nuts.
I mean, I'm not really, like, I don't know how to fix a lot of car things. I go to other people for that. But when it gets to a point where there's nothing that you can do, you have to go to this one vendor in order to get that taken care of, instead of having the choice to go where you want to take it.
Right.
That's not cool with me.
Aren't they all made in the same, the same manufacturing plant in China?
Mine was Mexico.
Oh, man.
Mine was made in Mexico.
Yours was made in...
Yep.
I know mine was.
Yep. The GTI was made in Mexico. The R's were made in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mine made Mexico also.
Yeah. But that and a lot of people say I'm crazy. A lot of people say it's like, you're just being ridiculous. But I'm kind of being real about it, and I don't just want to give up every right or give up everything, because we're going to get to a point where we're going to realize we made a mistake, is how I feel.
So for some reason, I'm thinking of the movie WALL-E.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a whole set of different reasons.
Yeah. Like, we have constant arguments at work. Okay. Social media. Okay. Social media, I'd be fine without it, but it's there, so I can't help to consume.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm not putting every aspect of my life on there. Some people are cool, and their response, I have nothing to hide. It's like, no, you don't. But it doesn't mean someone's not going to find something to use against you.
Right.
Look at some of these people who had tweets from 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They had nothing to hide, but now they're having to face issues with it now.
Well, once it's out there, it's out there.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. The information you put on the internet isn't even yours anymore.
No, it's not.
That picture of that lunch you just had,
And it's all
that is
part
no longer
of the
yours.
EULA.
That's right.
They can use that for whatever they want at that point. It doesn't matter.
And it's actually written right there in it, and
Yeah.
people just don't read it.
People don't care because they're like, oh, how's this really affect me? It doesn't affect me,
Of course it does.
because they're not thinking in the long term.
Nope. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do have. I have some social media accounts, but I'm not an avid user.
Yeah.
But the stuff that I have out there, I have out there, and I'm fine with it being out there because it's. If someone's really gonna make a big deal about a picture of me holding an antenna up in the air,
No.
okay, so they don't get the Ben Franklin joke.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's on them.
Yeah. And like, I have a whole podcast that I have out there, and it's just like, I didn't use certain podcasting companies because they had it in there. It's like, once it's there, it's kind of theirs, and I wanted to retain rights to it.
Right.
Look at, recently I've read about this. I'm not a big fan of hers, but Taylor Swift.
T-Swift.
Yeah, up to, I can't remember which album it was, but she can't perform a lot of her older music now in concert
Really?
because her old manager and her old company and everything owns the rights. She can't perform her own music that she wrote
Oh, man.
from her extensive, terrible catalog. She can't perform that terrible music. Sorry, T-Swift fans. But the fact of the matter, it's hurt and she can't perform it.
You know that happens to a lot
Yeah.
of artists. A lot of artists.
Paul
There's-
McCartney had his buddy Michael Jackson, who owned all of the little band that you may have heard of, the Beatles. The Beatles.
The Beatles.
Yeah, he owned the rights to their music.
You know who gave him that idea?
No,
Paul McCartney.
it's crazy.
Michael Jackson said, "Hey, how do I get in the whole license?" He goes, "Oh, buy a catalog."
Yeah,
So he bid, Now the rumor is he just went and bought it. However, people say, I've heard both stories. They're like, well, Paul McCartney, Yoko Ono said no, it was too much. We're not interested. So
Yeah.
Michael Jackson said, okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up with the Beatles catalog,
Yeah.
all of it, right?
I believe so.
And does his estate still own it?
I think they might have reverted back.
Okay, but
Can you just imagine that though, creating something and not even having the rights to it? I mean, it happens now in modern times because they had to sold off rights.
how many engineers does that happen to, or
Yeah.
video game programmers?
All the time.
I mean, you sit there, pour your heart and soul into this project, and then you get canned,
yeah.
and then they release it.
Yeah. I think what Chris Hardwick came out with the Nerdist Industries, that was his company.
Oh, that was his?
That was his.
Okay.
Then it got Legendary bought it. All that stuff happened. He got canceled because of that email or that letter someone wrote on a website, and then he has no access to any of that stuff anymore.
See, it's one of those things where when you're out there, you just need to be careful, even if it's something you start. I mean, okay, so I'm going to use Roseanne as an example.
Yeah.
She got kicked off her own show.
Yeah.
They rebranded it,
Yep.
and it's actually doing
It's
better.
doing well. There was a thing recently, I think on YouTube, that happened where people got cut off from their Google accounts.
Oh, really?
Yep. Because of spam. Like, I guess a couple spam bots happened. Now, I think it's since been corrected.
Right.
But can you just imagine you do something and then you get cut off from your Gmail?
That is yeah.
You cut off from your Gmail.
Yeah. So yeah. So to your point, what is really yours?
Exactly.
Because even though, you're attached to it, you don't have control over it.
Yeah,
And that's the thing a lot of people don't think about. It's the control over it.
exactly.
That's why, when people say it's up in the cloud, well, I can't control the cloud.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times where like we've had data up in the cloud and I can't get to it because they're having whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing X, so you can't get to your stuff right now.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Another thing. Remember, I want to say early to mid aughts,
Yeah.
Ultraviolet. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Ultraviolet was a thing. And you get digital movies. So you buy a movie. Oh, you're hoping it's an iTunes password. No, it's not. It's Ultraviolet. Okay, whatever. Fast forward to earlier this year. Ultraviolet shut down. If you didn't link that with anything, it's gone.
Wow.
If you did link it and unlink it now, you have no access to any of your library.
And that's the thing. You can't assume anything's going to be forever.
No.
You just can't.
You can't.
I mean, people complain now about certain music. Oh, it's gone. It's not up there anymore. I mean, there's times where I go to on the Netflix
Yeah.
and there's a show I'm looking for, and I find out it's no longer available, even though it's in my list, right?
Yeah.
It's still in the list.
Yep. But you can't access it
Right.
anymore.
So then people say, "Oh, well, you're renting the service. You're not exactly. You're not buying the content."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go grab my Laserdisc player and I'll go watch my whatever
Yeah. Another one
that I
okay?
own.
We talked about this in one of the previous ones. Star Wars.
Oh,
I want to watch an unbastardized version of the original trilogy. I can't go anywhere to see that.
yeah, you can.
Well, if I didn't know you,
Oh, okay.
I would not be able to go anywhere to see that.
Right.
Because if I go to a store, buy it, it's been changed. It's been changed again for the DSP.
Wait, what?
There's new scenes.
There's more?
Yeah. I've noticed that the scene with Greedo and Han has been changed again.
Who shot first?
They shoot at the same time.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Han shoots
Avengers
first.
Endgame has extra scenes also
The one. Wait.
with his daughter.
Yeah. That was very heart wrenching,
Yeah.
by the way.
But all this stuff, and like, do you have those laser discs? Do you have the original trilogy?
Yes.
Are they digitized?
What do you mean?
Do you have them digitally anywhere accessible?
Yes.
I'm gonna need that
Okay.
because I want to watch the original trilogy untouched.
Yeah, I was testing a transfer the other day, and I used those 3.
Yeah. I would love to see that untouched.
That's cool.
Because you can't see that anymore. I want to see it how it was meant to be seen.
It's weird, man. Let me tell you.
I bet.
It's weird.
I bet.
A friend of mine has a VHS copy of Star Wars where it doesn't even say Episode 4.
Yeah.
It just starts because that's what it was. It
Yeah.
just was Star Wars.
Because like now the crawl and like all that stuff is all redone and it's all digital now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It looks clean and crisp, but it's not like how they originally filmed it.
So I didn't realize how many times they've changed it since I
my
watched.
God.
There was a guy on YouTube who did a side by side with
Yeah.
the different versions.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like and what's sad is the original seems so new to me because I got used to the changed ones, which that's just totally odd.
Yeah.
It and
Mandela effect.
and the whole Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And they've done that with a lot of things in history.
The thing is, you don't realize it's happening.
No, you don't.
Like on She's All That, when she says dressed in something from TJ Maxx.
They changed it to Tacky Rags.
To Tacky Rags.
That was on TV the other day.
Yeah, and the thing is, they that change happened early on. So if you saw it like the first week or two in theaters, you saw the original. But even in theaters, they changed it.
Yeah,
to
they
Tacky
changed.
Rags.
You're
yeah.
right. Yep. And I saw it a couple of times in the theater.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw it at least twice in theaters.
So they just changed stuff, and it's you're not in control of it.
No.
You could talk about, your old school Nintendo game. I know you've talked about the whole beta release thing and everything else. So, when you got that Nintendo cartridge, that was it. No one was going to come and change it.
Nope.
No one, no one was going to change any of the code on that thing.
Yep.
That's what it is.
You get what you get.
Right.
And like, for instance, there's I think 4 versions of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
There's 4 versions?
Yes, there are 4 different builds with subtle tweaks here and there.
Oh,
I
wow.
have the original build.
Okay.
So some of the glitches and some of the stuff they're in that copy, and that's it. There is
Wow.
nothing changed because I
Wow.
have the gold cartridge. But that was also in a time where game developers would make something and that they know that's it. They're not patches. They're not DLC. There's nothing like that after the fact.
Well, I'm a firm believer because, I don't feel like I ever buy a game anyway.
Yeah.
Even with a physical copy, I may have it, but what's the first thing that happens when you put it in? Oh,
It installs.
update.
Oh,
You got an update.
day one updates.
So it's like nothing's ever done.
No.
I won't go off on that tangent too
Yeah.
much. I know you've gone over that, but
Yeah.
it's the whole even if you do have the physical copy, you own that disc, but unlike like my laser disc or whatever,
Yeah.
that's even being changed.
Yeah.
So even though I own a physical disc, I'm not actually getting what's truly on that disc
No.
because it's getting manipulated before I even get to it.
Yeah. The only way to do that is to unhook. Now, here's the funny part. Okay, going back to video games. Overwatch just came out for the Switch
Yes.
recently, like, October?
Yeah.
You buy the physical copy. You go to the store. You buy Overwatch. You open the case. You know what's inside?
A license key?
A download code.
Yeah. That's crap.
Yep. So they went through all the trouble to make packaging, make a case, do all this stuff to give you a license key.
Just so you could say you have the art.
Yeah.
Is that what their mentality is?
I have no... And there's not even an instruction booklet. There's nothing there.
So, you know what? That's one thing that drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
So, one of the cars we have didn't come with, it came with a quick reference guide.
Yeah.
It didn't come with an owner's manual. You can download it to read it, or you can get it for free. But you had to ask for it.
Yeah, that's...
What kind of crap is that? So they tell you enough to where this is how you not get killed. Okay? Don't put a banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah.
Enough for you to get it home so they can, they
You're not their problem anymore.
Right.
And like now, some cars don't even come with spare tires, and I think that's stupid.
That, you know what? I
think that's so dumb.
I've had to use my spare tire 4 times.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it's well, So here's the thing, right? So, BMW, one of the companies where they don't use spare. They tried to run flat thing. They use run flat tires. So you open the thing up and you have a can of fix a flat and a pump, right?
Yeah.
But this when I asked the salesperson about it, this is what they said. Well, you get roadside assistance
For a subscription.
Yeah, well, for the first X amount of miles, but then it's a subscription. So I said, okay, so instead of me being able to change a tire in 15 minutes, I've got to wait 8 days for a guy to show up to go tow the car. Yeah, that doesn't sound very convenient to me.
Yeah. Not for me, dog. Yeah. No thanks. Hard pass on that, Big Shoots.
Yeah, it's and that's actually that very feature. You know, I had to for our van, I had to spend money to get the optional spare tire.
And that's what I don't see how they can get away with that.
Yeah, But you know what though?
What?
It's my tire.
It's your tire.
It. I own it. Dang it!
You're trading in. You're keeping the tire.
You know, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I know someone who just did that. He's like, yeah, I had to sell a car, but I'm keeping that damn spare tire because I bought that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he bought it. He's not lying. It's his.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So it's yeah. You're right. We pretty much we don't own. I mean, you know, you look around the house and stuff. And there's stuff we own, but
yeah, quote unquote own.
Yeah, that we've paid for, and you know, you get a receipt and an item with a download code.
Exactly. Exactly.
That is
sad.
Definitely sad. I mean, well, there's some things you really wouldn't be able to do it for, right? Well, food.
Well, yeah.
And
perishables, you obviously can't.
Right. Well, they go bad anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I think of those rent-to-own places that were really popular.
Oh my god!
I guess they kind of had, you know, they kind of knew what's up, right?
And the thing is, man, going through, all right, you can pay however much a week to get an Xbox One. After you all said and done, you pay like $6,000.
Right.
I'll never forget. Back in the day, I knew someone that I had dated, and her family is like, "Oh, you just go to Aaron's rent to own," and I was like, "What are you doing? This is a terrible idea," and I had to explain why it was a terrible idea. Wow. Yeah. Needless to say, I'm not with that person anymore. Because that was just
that was not the live studio audience.
No, definitely not the live studio audience.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know, they don't ever end up owning it.
No.
And in fact, I've only seen it where when we moved here, when we came back to the States in the 80s, we actually rented a TV from one of those places.
Yeah.
And brought it back.
Yeah.
Well, we rented a TV. That's all we just needed to rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll rent movies. I'll rent, games or whatever. Well, I don't really rent movies or anything anymore just because...
Well, technically, you are renting the movie.
Oh, you're very right.
See?
Except for a lot of them,
You are paying for the convenience of possibly watching anything on that service.
You're right.
So you can't get specific because they change it. The catalog changes.
The catalog changes.
So you are paying for the convenience of being able to watch anything they have to offer.
At that present time.
So I think what I should do is buy a food truck, okay? Mm-hmm. Get people to subscribe to my food truck. Mm-hmm. So they pay me $10 a month, $15 a month, and they get an entree from my food truck. Yeah. However, I will change what I sell on that food truck on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But they are entitled to whatever I have on that food truck.
You know what? You can switch it up. You can give them the ingredients and the instructions on how to make said food items and call it plated.
Yes, that's true. Oh, damn. I know someone who has
or Blue Apron. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff is cool. Like we've had HelloFresh because you get some interesting things, some interesting ideas for some meals. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't rely on that solely on that because what it's between two. I have no leftovers. I can't do anything, but I have used some of those recipes over and over again.
Right.
Like I've done the banh mi. I made like pickled veggies and stuff many times.
So I heard, I don't know if they're even business anymore, but you know how you can do that service where you get clothes?
Yeah.
So there was one.
I did that once.
Was it? How was that?
It was
Yeah.
cool. I still have some of the stuff. One of the jackets I have is still cool.
Cause I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, it would kind of freshen up the wardrobe and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was one business model, and it was not successful, where same type of deal, but you would end up with a bunch of clothes, but you would return them and get new clothes.
Yeah, I don't. Nope. No thanks.
They thought it was. I don't remember what it's called. They thought they had it in the bag.
I mean, in essence, it could be kind of useful because that way you could get rid of old stuff, but
And the reason it failed in their eyes was they didn't make enough money off it.
yeah, because no one wants to do that.
Right.
It's extra hassle. Oh, I have to ship this back.
You know
I
how
had
long
to do
I've had this shirt?
That looks like it's from maybe about 95, 96.
Okay, no, it's way newer than that.
Oh, okay.
I've had it maybe 6 months.
Oh, gotcha. I've had this shirt for about a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
But my Shaquille O'Neal shirt did finally die, so I quit wearing that one.
Yeah.
And
But I'm sure you still have that Legend of Zelda
my
shirt.
Zelda shirt's here somewhere.
I'm sure you still have it.
I don't know where it's at. I'll find it.
The thing is almost see-through now. It's so worn out, but it's so comfy.
I'll have to donate it to the Buddy Talks podcast.
May I have a concert?
Yeah.
A
concert.
contest. I can have a concert too. License out some music.
What? So is that the price? Not the price. Is that the prize?
Yeah.
So would you actually give it to them, or would they rent it?
Oh, they would only. It's part of the license. They could get it for a certain amount of time until I want it back.
So here's something funny.
Yeah.
You know what the Price is Right is?
Yeah.
The Price is Right.
Oh yeah.
So I learned this years ago. So they give away these cars. So these people win these cars, right? But what I found out was they're leases,
Well, not always.
right?
Some of them are you have to pay the taxes immediately.
Oh, but anyway, but it's not like it's here you go. Here's a car.
No, yeah, it's not. Here's a car for free. No, there's always something on the back end. A lot of people don't even take the car because they can't afford the however many thousands of dollars in taxes to take said vehicle.
And so you know why now if you look at Price is Right, you look at it and they're like the really cheap cars.
Yeah,
That's why they're the really cheap cars because they try to make it to where the people will take it. So you're not going to find like a $70,000 SUV on the Price is Right.
nope.
You know, you'll
Nope.
get that in the box of macaroni and cheese. It just doesn't, you know.
Yeah, it's and the thing is you got to pay taxes on all those prizes
Yes.
in order to receive. Like the moment you receive said prize, you had to pay taxes.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. So you don't even win stuff to own on game shows
Nope.
anymore.
Nope, there's a catch. There's always a catch.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is the world that we live in, and people are cool with it.
Well, some people.
A lot of people are.
A lot of people.
Enough people are, or enough people who have the power to keep it going.
I'm going to be that crazy old guy in my house with my vinyl records.
You already are.
Oh, I am that crazy old guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
But who knows how things will change, man. But that's like on this current path, that's where we're going. No one's going to own anything.
And that's just going to be the new normal.
Oh, exactly.
So how many times you've talked to older people and they talk about how things used to be?
Oh, they hit over the okay boomer.
It's just our turn, I guess.
Oh, that's exactly what it is because right now it's so difficult for people to even own property.
Yes.
To own, like, how many people have single income like houses that they own now? A lot of people had to get roommates.
Right.
A lot of people have to do all sorts of other things in order to afford a house.
Yeah.
Or they're renting.
I'm not looking forward to house shopping. I'm not sure how I'm going to afford it, but I'm going to figure it out.
I mean, at least you have like multiple income household where you can do it.
Right.
But
yeah, my kids are going to get jobs and they're going to help pay for this
Exactly.
house.
You got to pull their weight. Because back in the day, I mean, they're old enough to have to work on farms.
That's right. With equipment that they don't own.
Yep.
That still blows my mind.
Yeah.
That still blows my mind.
Blows a lot of people's minds, and they hate it.
See, that's why farmers should start renting out corn.
Look at all this maize. But we're at about an hour. Do you have anything else you want to include on that?
Yeah, I was just gonna make one last point.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't it be kind of funny if we find out that the Indians really rented us the
You
land?
mean the Native Americans?
I'm sorry, the Native Americans.
PC, man. Yeah.
PC as opposed to Mac. Just saying.
Yeah.
So the Mac using Native Americans.
Yeah.
What if they just rented us the land and we found this out later, and then the license expired?
Yeah. That would be interesting.
That's a whole different
That's a whole
apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah. They would just get all their stuff back. Piss off a lot of people.
So it's still called the Indian Motorcycle Company, right? Not the
Yeah.
Native American Motorcycle Company?
Yeah, sometimes things just change. I mean, it was still called BlackBerry, but the company was actually RIM.
Research in Motion.
Yep.
Device of the BlackBerry.
Yep. They
What else would they call it?
changed the name. No, the company changed their name to BlackBerry.
Oh, they're not Research in Motion anymore?
No. Because they were known as BlackBerry.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the DeLorean was the actual car was
The
what
DeLorean Motor Company.
and it was the DMC-12 was the actual
Yeah.
vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he's called it. Well, it was he only did one car,
But still, it was known more
and he got his drugs.
for, I mean, he's an entrepreneur. It was known more as just a DeLorean. So,
Well, if you're gonna build a time machine, you might as well do it with some style.
you built a time machine,
Marty,
out of a DeLorean? Yeah.
Marty.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think that's all I got.
That's all I got. I'm gonna. After this, I'm gonna go find me some food to rent.
Hey, there you go.
I'm gonna go find a bathroom to rent to give it back.
You just give it back later. It might not look the same, but you give it back later.
Then I'll get charged a mileage fee.
Yeah, yeah. But thanks again for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. It was nice being the brother buddy
Oh God, so sensual,
all over again.
so sensual. And remember, you can listen to us on all your podcasting needs are Spotify. You can even listen to us on YouTube, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever you want to call it, Google Play. We're all there. If you have any questions, feel free to send or comment. Send it to buddytalkspod@gmail.com. And all the links where you can find me are at buddytalkspodcast.com. Thanks again for everyone. Mike, thank you. Thanks for listening. And we'll see y'all later. Bye.